Speaking in tongues, and so on. You guys are amazing. I mean, I got my favorite quote. This friend of mine here, I taught him Sunday school, which is why he turned out so bad. But this guy is Denzel Smith. He's a motivational speaker, a really great speaker. And he follows me everywhere. Now, I had to change all my jokes because I said, when I heard, come on, I from the back, I said, oh Lord, die gaan ons alweer. I heard one of my favorite, Denzel, we must use this in our speeches. You know, I don't know who said it. I'm getting goosebumps just saying this. Who of you said, I don't have blood in my veins. Yeah. I've got seawater. Oh my God! That was amazing. That was amazing. And I feel sorry for the guy who marries Jody. She speaks. But Jody, you are also an amazing speaker and young word. But all of you just inspired me. You know, the choir can't sing. I mean, clearly there's a lot of falsettos there. But who the hell cares? Who the hell cares? It's the spirit of the choir, you know? I just want to tell you guys, I hate awards evenings. It brings back bad memories. I went to school here in Steenberg and retreat in Steenberg. And when I go to awards evenings, it brings back bad, I had therapy. Because I was the guy who didn't get awards. I used to hate those kids who went up and came with all those trophies and they still look at you. They still look at you. I hated that. Because I wasn't very good in primary school. My students always say, oh, good trophy. No. In primary school, I was the worst. My mathematics marks were negative integers. Because those days they took away marks if you guessed. So I always had minus 25, minus 30. My goal was to get 0. You know? So I never got any awards. I tried everything at school. I even tried to join the choir. And after the first choir practice, you see, I wasn't smart, so the teacher comes to me and says, Johnny, come here with your voice. I thought this was a moment of pride. She said, Johnny, with your voice, you can go far. The further, the better. Horrible. So I joined the school's 400-meter athletics team. I thought, as a young black boy, I must do something, you know, just to give me some confidence. I joined the 400-meter. You know the 400 meters? Once around the track. I'm proud to tell you at Sullivan Primary, I still hold the record today because I became the first boy in the history of the school to be lapped in the 400 meters. They ran around me twice because this guy decided to do a victory lap. So he caught up with me. So I hated this prize, but there was one prize. I did win one prize. Let me be honest. God is my witness, I won one prize, the tuck shop prize. The tuck shop prize, just for standing there and selling chips and stuff like that. So when I come here and I see these beautiful young people and so on, but you know, I want to talk to you about something else tonight. I just want to, and I'm going to write about you guys. I can't wait for next Thursday. I have to write about this. Needs to know your story. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm teaching with a group of friends. We've taken over a school in Tembaletu in Worcester, and I went there the other day too, and I watched the teachers teach. 5 of the teachers. We do professional development with them every single day. At this school, we've decided no kid will do mathematical literacy. Every kid will do real math. The mathematical literacy is a joke. Okay. No life orientation. Leave that to your priest. So I watched these 5 teachers teach, and in the session afterwards I said to them, you know something, I have seen more excitement at a Cape Flats funeral than in your classroom. So they said, okay professor, you've put us down, why don't you teach? Big mistake. I took 2 weeks to prepare a 40-minute lecture on refraction, because I was a science teacher, you know. But they had nothing, you see. The school in Tembaleto has nothing. It's, by the way, it's an interesting township. It's the cleanest township I've ever seen. I don't know why. There must be an explanation. So as a social scientist, I want to know what's going on there. But the school has no resources, nothing. So I went to Westerville High School. I loaded my car with, these light rays and these transformers, because I wanted the kids to see light bend through different kinds of media, because that's the whole point of refraction. I wanted them to be able to calculate the refraction index as grade 8 kids, etc., etc. These are very important things. But they had never seen any of these things. They were shocked. They didn't know if they must touch it. Why am I telling you this? I am telling you this because the single most important thing that makes the difference between this accomplished young woman and the thousands and thousands of young people who never make it, the single most important thing is showing up. What do I mean by showing up? I don't mean that in that moment you must be physically present. I also mean you must be emotionally present. I mean you must be spiritually present. I mean that you must be intellectually present. In other words, when you get an opportunity, show up! Yes. Most people don't know the story of Oprah Winfrey. So when we brought her, I invited her to the University of the Free State to get an honorary degree. And I said, I don't care. She only had 6 hours on campus. But I said, I want 1 hour with O. This is what they call name dropping. Me and O. So me and O sat alone. So I said, Oprah, you were raped by a family member. Long before you were famous. You were abused. You were told you're going nowhere in life. And in the south of the United States, let me tell you something, it's a horrible place, even today, for a young black person. Oprah, what made the difference? What made you become one of the richest women in the world? What made you become so famous? She said, it's very simple, Professor. When the opportunity came, I took it. When the opportunity came, I took it. Now what I've seen here, with these old buddies on the side of the room, is they have given you opportunity.
Sorry, I said I'm on this side.
You're in the clear. You're in the clear. They have given you opportunity. I want you to take it. I've taught young people in the richest schools in the world, like Castellia in Palo Alto, California, and I've taught kids in the most dysfunctional schools in the world, like Oscar and Petra in Nayanga. I've taught kids in both extremes. Did you know something? There's absolutely no difference between the kids in the richest schools and the kids in the poorest schools. The kids are the same. You are all the same. Every child given an opportunity to learn with a good and enthusiastic teacher with the basic resources can do anything. I don't care whether you're black or blue, male or female, Catholic or Christian. The only people I exclude from that, for whom there is no hope, are the stormers. But everybody else, sorry, I'm a blue bull. But everybody else can make it. I can tell you now with certainty that there might very well be in this room one of you who go into crop science or something and solve the problem of world hunger. That's possible. The notion of becoming the youngest captain, this is within your reach. The biggest problem you have as South Africans is they've messed with your head. They told you you can pass with 30%. They told you you can pass with 40%. Do you know what they did last year, your government? They decided that for the entire grade 8 class in the country, they would condone a 20% pass in mathematics. That's a shame. Thank God black people can't blush. But I was blushing. I was embarrassed. Because they're really talking about you. They're not talking about white kids at Saks and Bishops. They're talking about you and me. The expectation for you is so low. You just have to get up, write your name on that matric paper, and you'll pass. Don't worry about the matric exam. Just show up. Look pretty, you'll pass. Because the standard for passing is so low. The expectation about what you can achieve. Oh my word. I went to the richest shopping center in the world. It's called the Stanford Shopping Center, where I was a student and where I went recently to write a few books. So I go there and I see this car in the middle of the shopping center. You know those cars with the doors don't open like normal cars, like my Toyota? They open like into the air. You know, like those old Kung Fu movies. So I was proud, you see. So I go up and see if I could afford it. Because this guy was only selling a few at a time. So I go up and I say to the lady, she looks at me, and I can see she was looking at me and saying, no, this bastard doesn't have money, but you know. So I say to her, I'll have you know that this car was designed by a South African who went to Pretoria Boys High School with my son. The fact that, I didn't tell him my son was a dropout, I just said, she said, oh, you know Elon Musk? So what I did is I called together, this can change your life, right here. You don't have to pay me. This can change your life. So I called together 15 South Africans who had become world famous after they left the country. Like my friend Michael Levitt, who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry. He also went to the Pretoria Boys. Oh, that poor schoolies. They invited me once, they never invited me back. Because I said to the school, don't be so proud of yourselves. Your only contribution to South African culture was to hookers. They misunderstood. I misunderstood. I was talking about John Smith and Chidibwe on a bed. They just misunderstood, you know. But out of this school comes a Nobel laureate in chemistry, and and you know why they won it? Do you know why he created? Why Elon could do that there? Because they left the country. So I called them together at the Four Seasons Hotel in East Palo Alto, and I said to them, gentlemen, they were all men unfortunately, why is it that you achieved here but not at home? And they told me three things. If you get this, your life changes tonight. They say, Professor, here people expect us to do well. They look at you and they see greatness. You see, when I went to university, and let me ask the everybody's here, how many of you, when you went to university in South Africa, you had at least one professor who said, welcome to Chemistry 329. By the end of the first semester, half of you will be gone. Hands up if this happened. How can they tell you to go before they even told you to come? That is South African culture. We look at our people and we tell them what they can't do instead of what they can do. You see, my daughter's deaf in 1 ear. I have never told her about this ear. I tell her about what she can do with this ear. Are you with me? Yes. Do I hear an amen? Amen. I look at my son every morning when I went into my daughter's bedroom. She's now too old, so I can't do it anymore. She lives on her own. I went into my daughter's bedroom every single morning. And I said, Sarah, you will become the first South African woman to fly an Airbus across the Atlantic. This is at 6 in the morning. She says, Dad, go away. You say that every morning. But you see what I want my daughter to understand. And what I want the children that I teach to understand is that you have the capacity for greatness regardless of the circumstances. You see, Wade van Niekerk was my student. He grew up, yeah. Kuils River was some godforsaken place. You meet Wade. He comes into my office. You look at him and I think the Cape Flats word is oorlams. He just looks oorlams. When he ran in the 400-meter finals in the World Championships, I stopped my meeting of the senior executive of the university. I said, we're all going to watch him because nobody thought he was going to win. We watched him around and beat Karate James. I've never had such an experience before since I was born again. But it was just amazing. Because in his head, he tells himself he's going to win. He doesn't tell himself he's from KwaZulu-Natal. He doesn't tell himself he grew up with gangsters. He doesn't tell himself the apartheid government prevented his mother, who was also a superb athlete, from running. He says to himself, I can win this. You see, it's in your head. Whether you're going to make it or not. And it is important for you that when you get the opportunity, you take it. She was only second year medical school. She calls me out of nowhere. This kid is from a godforsaken place called Volksrust. You haven't even heard of Volksrust. In Mpumalanga.
I'm from there.
Oh, I've never met somebody say that. And she calls me, and my wife and I were in Sun City or someplace. In Joburg. She says, Professor, I'm performing tonight at Sun City. Could you please come through and watch me? That's just between you and me. Miss South Africa is not on top of my intellectual agenda, for anything. But it's my kid, it's my student. So I drive all the way to Sun City to see Ronald Strauss perform. And everybody told me, Kiddo Kamis told me, she's going to win. He was a judge. And she failed. She lost. Because the idiot asked her a question with a French word in it, which you can't ask somebody from Volkswagen. Do you think Miss World has become blasé? I mean, what the hell is that? Blasé! And the poor kid froze. And the Monday she came into my office and she said to me in Afrikaans, Professor, just give me a year. The next time I'm going to win this. She won it, and she became Miss World. It's in your head. She could have said, I'm from Volkswagen. Volkswagen is like Nazareth in the Bible. Can anything good come out of Volkswagen? And I didn't know they gave us one of our most exciting Olympians. I didn't know that. It's not Volkswagen. It's what's in your head. So when you get the opportunity, show up. Don't say I'm black. I used to do that. Don't say I'm poor. I used to do that. Don't list all the things that are against you. That's why we lose in rugby to the All Blacks. We have 50 million people. They got a few million. They beat us because they look at us and they do the haka, and I can see in our boys' faces they say, your bones. We sing. They sing, God defend New Zealand in 2 languages. It's in your head. When you get the opportunity, show up. There's something very deep that touched me today. And I want you guys, as beautiful, talented young people, South Africans, Namibians, or wherever you're from, I want you to listen to me very carefully. You see, we all know our country has a divided past, right? We all know that white people got advantage over black people. It's a fact. But you see what I saw here today, which had me in tears here, is I see these white men who are captains and engineers and so on. They won't tell you that, but I know what's going through their heads. They're saying, what can I do to pay back? What can I do to give back? My talent, our money, and so on. And that's the way our country can go forward. Not by calling each other names. Not by swearing at each other. Not by keep telling the one and the other, you're stupid or you're rich or you know the way to get ahead. It's to begin as South Africans to say we are better off together by using our strengths. The most beautiful picture I've ever taken with my camera, which is a horrible camera, because I'm shooting, was I heard a woman speak on those small planes. If you take a small plane out of Bloemfontein, I lived there for 7 years, and 3 months, and 2 weeks, and 4 days. Let me tell you. Whenever you take those small planes out of there, you become religious, you pray. And I hear a black woman's voice from the cockpit, and I said, oh my God, we're going to die. No, I didn't say that. But I had this pride, you know, just this pride. So when the plane landed in Joburg, I asked the air hostess, man, asked him to open up the door while we were waiting for the bus. They opened the door, and here sat an old white Afrikaans guy and this beautiful young black co-pilot. And you see, he has got to take her through a certain number of hours before she can take over his job when he retires. That's my South Africa. Not fighting, working it out, sharing our resources, learning from each other. That's how you make a great country. Young people of Maritime, I am extremely emotional because I'm so proud of what I saw tonight. In any of your religions, let me leave this message with you tonight. God bless you. Thank you.